All right, cool. So we'll dive into day three, which is basically all around mastering your training plan. And it's very much about educating you on different types of training styles, going through different ways of getting fitter, getting stronger. And of course, if you want to lose weight and drop body fat, how different styles of training can actually help impact that, and help you progress and move forward. So I suppose before diving into the whole training side of things, what you want to kind of be asking yourself is, like, what are your specific goals? So for some people, they want to lose weight, they want to drop body fat. Other people might want to build muscle, they want to get stronger, they want to get fitter. Then you'll have other people actually that want to put on weight. So, so it doesn't really matter what it is that you want to be able to achieve. The main thing is doing specific exercise that's going to help you get to where it is that you want to be. And also as well, you could want a mixture of it all. Maybe you want to lose weight, drop body fat, you want to feel a bit stronger, maybe build a little bit of muscle, and on top of that, getting even fitter as well. So that's kind of what I try and focus on with my own training. Like, I don't have any kind of specific goals to get bigger or anything. For me, it's feeling fitter, feeling stronger, and keeping my body fat down at the same time while making progress with my training week on week. So that's kind of the main thing with me when it comes to my training. And the main thing with training as well is that there is so many different types of exercise. But the main thing is, whatever it is you do, make sure it's something that you do enjoy. Because if you're forcing yourself into the gym and you're going in and you're doing, I don't know, lifting weights and stuff or whatever, and it's something you don't enjoy doing, then it's going to be really hard to stick to it long term. And after all, if this is something that you want to be able to do long term, then on top of that, you want to be making sure that you do enjoy it. You don't want it to feel like a chore every day when you go out and do whatever training you want to do. So you could be going into the gym, lifting weights, you could be doing specific classes, you could be doing yoga, cycling, running, walking. So at the end of the day, fitness and improving your health and stuff, this is just an element of getting you moving. And obviously, when you want to try and get stronger and stuff like that, adding a bit of resistance into what you're doing will help you get stronger and build a little bit of muscle. So the number one thing is make sure whatever you choose to do, make sure it's something you enjoy. And if you're new to training and stuff like that, and you haven't really tried many things in the past, then I definitely suggest get out, try different classes. You could even work with a trainer doing personal training to learn how to lift weights and stuff properly. You could try running, cycling, swimming, rowing, whatever it may be, and then just kind of figure out what it is that you enjoy, and whatever it is you enjoy, then just kind of stick into that, then moving forward. So as I said, moving is a huge part of getting fitter and stuff like that. And you might have kind of heard about setting yourself a step target, and a lot of people will try and say, right, aim for 10,000 steps a day. And this is a massive part for helping anybody that actually wants to lose weight and drop body fat. Because at the end of the day, when you want to lose weight and drop body fat, it's all about burning calories. And we spoke about it in the nutrition part, but being in a calorie deficit is another vital part. And then on top of that is getting you moving. So the more you move, the more calories you burn, which is basically burning off excess body fat. And setting yourself a target of, say, minimum 10,000 steps a day is a good starting point. And simply because 10,000 steps is roughly around 500 calories. Obviously, it depends on if you're walking uphill, downhill, or how intense your walk is, or how fast you're going. That will kind of determine kind of how many calories you burn, but let's just say it's in around 500 calories. So if you were to do 10,000 steps a day over 7 days, that would be equivalent to 3,500 calories that you'd burn just from getting your steps in. So to burn off 1 kilo of body fat is equivalent to 7,000 calories. So that means over the 7 days, just doing 10,000 steps a day, to 3,500 calories, that's actually half a kilo of body fat that you could burn just from getting your steps in. So as long as you kind of follow the principles that we went through in the nutrition, by keeping your protein levels up, keeping yourself in a calorie deficit, focusing on whole foods, and just getting your steps in, that will bring your weight down. Just simply because you'll be burning off more calories than you're consuming each and every day. And when you want to focus on getting your steps up, you could be it's not all about just getting out and going for a walk for an hour or so. You could be doing simple things like when you go to a shopping center, park a little bit further away, so you have to walk a bit further. Whenever you're going to work, if you have to park somewhere, again, park a bit further, that you're walking a bit more, be a bit more consciously aware of how much you're moving around each and every day, that you're not just sitting all day long. Having a fitness watch is really cool as well, because you can actually look at your steps, see how many steps you've done. If not, then just get like an app on your phone that tracks steps. And it, again, by having something that you can actually physically see a number, like let's just say, for example, you look down, you see your watch, oh, I've done 7,000 steps, right? It can give you that extra bit of motivation to get up and get moving a little bit more. So you might get home after work or whatever and say, oh, do you know what? I'm going to get up and do a 10-minute walk, and that'll bring me closer to my 10,000 steps. So it's a nice little target to aim for, especially if you want to lose weight and drop body fat, because the more you can move throughout the day, the more calories that you will burn throughout the day. So moving on for that. So the best training plan for weight loss or for fat loss, like I said, being in a calorie deficit is number one, because if you're over consuming your calories every day and you're absolutely smashing yourself with your training, you're going for runs, you're going for walks and everything, you will not lose weight if you're overeating your calories. So that's going to be the number one part, getting into that calorie deficit. And then the next part, there is several ways for you to help lose weight and drop body fat. I find lifting weights and doing some sort of intense workouts, like getting your heart rate up, is a great way to go about it, because it incorporates lifting weights. So you're getting fitter, you're getting stronger, you're building a little bit of muscle. And then on top of that, you're getting some sort of cardio in as well. So it's getting the heart rate up and it's burning even more calories. And lifting weights as well, like you're not going to get huge from lifting weights. So you get a lot of people will say, oh, I don't want to get big, or I don't want to get bulky or whatever. So if you're kind of thinking that, building muscle is really hard and it does take time. But as you start to build a little bit of muscle, will start to increase your metabolism, because your body has to work harder to maintain the muscle. So that means you'll be burning off even more calories then as well. So mixing it up by lifting weights and doing some sort of cardio stuff, or doing some sort of like circuits or CrossFit training or anything like that, I find is a great way to kind of finish off a workout, to get your heart rate up and even burn more calories. So that's kind of what a type of training plan I do with a lot of people, and they want to lose weight and drop body fat, is that we've incorporated different movements to build overall strength, and then at the same time focusing on building fitness levels as well on top of that. There's a guy, Gary Brecka, not sure if you've heard of him. Like he's a biologist fellow, he's blown up all over the internet at the moment, but he talks about one of the best ways for burning body fat is by doing his 30-30-30 routine, which is basically get up in the morning, have 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up, and then you do 30 minutes of steady cardio, keeping your heart rate under 135. So it's basically getting up in the morning, have like a protein shake, get your 30 grams of protein in, and then literally just moving for 30 minutes. Could be a very light jog, fast walk, going on a bike or whatever it is, doing that for half an hour. So that was one of the things that he's come out with recently, saying that it's an incredible way for helping people drop body fat. So the next one, moving on from there, if you're someone that wants to build muscle, then obviously you need to be lifting weights. You need to be putting your muscles under some sort of strain, and then you need to be increasing that intensity of the amount of strain that's put on the muscle over time. So by lifting weights and stuff, what you're doing is you're creating these small little incisions in the muscle, so you're kind of damaging the muscles, and it's while the muscle is repairing itself, that's when the muscle starts to get a bit bigger. And with that as well, your nutrition is a vital part here. You want to make sure that your protein levels are up. By having more protein in your diet, it's going to help your body recover a lot more. It's going to help you build muscle. And then there's loads of other benefits as well of having higher protein in your diet. But what can happen as well is if you've got low levels of protein and you're going out and you're doing, say, a lot of intense workouts and stuff like that, you could be seeing your weight come down on a scale, but you could also be depleting yourself of muscle, because you literally haven't given your body the fuel to maintain the muscle, if that kind of makes sense. So, and in an ideal situation for someone building muscle, you want to be in a calorie surplus. So this is basically the opposite to a calorie deficit, where you're slightly overeating your calories. Now, when you're doing this, it's going to be hard to stay lean. You're not going to drop body fat because you're overeating, but it does help with actually building muscle. So if you're someone that just wants to be able to build muscle, get bigger, then just eating a little bit over the amount that you burn off every day, keeping your protein levels up, and then obviously lifting weights. And with the kind of rep range, you're trying to keep it between, say, reps of 8 to 12 with about 60 seconds rest in between. Also, as well, when you're lifting weights, your muscles can't count. All they do is feel tension. So if you're doing a nice, slow, controlled movement with kind of a light enough weight that puts a lot of tension on the muscle, you're going to get the same benefit of going a lot heavier and trying to move the weight a lot quicker, because you're just getting that muscle fibers firing, you're putting them under tension, and you're causing those small little tears in the muscle. And it's the recovery then that will actually allow you to build muscle, I suppose. And this kind of is the same for, I suppose, for getting stronger, except this time your rep ranges would be a lot lower. So when you're building muscle, like I was saying, it's kind of roughly around, say, 8 to 12 reps, nice, slow, controlled. But when you want to get stronger, what you're focused on is moving the weight, say, from A to B. So for example, if you're doing a bench press, all you want to do is get it down to your chest, back up as fast as you can, and just get that heavy weight moving. Whereas when you're doing it to build muscle, it's a lot slower, controlled, and you're really mentally focused on getting the muscles engaged. So with your food as well, when you want to get stronger, and if you really want to focus on building up your strength, then again, you're kind of focusing on eating in that calorie surplus, because it's going to fuel your body a lot more. It's going to give you a bit more energy, and it's going to allow you to, I suppose, have that bit more drive when you're kind of lifting the heavier weights. Then the next part, getting fitter. So when you want to get, like a lot of people say to me, oh, I just want to get fit. But the thing is, you need to ask yourself, what does being fit look like to you? Because me being fit and someone else being fit can look completely different. So you need to kind of ask yourself that. It could be being able to run 5K without stopping. It could be being able to run, say, 10K in 40 minutes, or even being able to run 500 meters without being out of breath. So the main thing when you're kind of looking at your fitness levels, you need to ask yourself where you're at right now. And when you kind of figure out where your starting point is, then you build on your fitness levels then from there. You could have been, let's say, go back 5, 6, 7 years ago, you could have felt really fit back then. So it's about asking yourself, okay, cool, what were you able to do back then that you feel you can't do right now? So again, that would be kind of setting a goal for yourself based around getting fitter. And then by getting fitter, it's really just about working on it week on week. So for example, if you wanted to be able to run 5K, and at the moment you can only do 200 meters, then you'd get out, I suppose, a few times a week, do your 200 meters. Then the next week you might go, right, you know what, I'm going to push it a bit more. I'm going to try and do 250 meters. Or you might do, right, I'm going to do 500 meters, but I'm going to run a little bit and walk a bit, run a bit, walk a bit. So you're kind of slowly building on your distance over time until you can actually get to that 5K. Or if you're trying to run a certain distance in a certain speed, you'll run the distance first, track your speed to see how fast you go. And then you actually might even say, for example, if it was a 5K sprint, you might actually go out and start doing, say, 2K sprints. You might do like 4, 5, 6 2K sprints, work on that, building that up, and then eventually start putting it all together and get out and try and do a 5K sprint then to beat your previous time. So there's so many ways to build on your fitness levels, but at the end of the day, it's how you want to feel about yourself. It's how you want to kind of see yourself in the mirror. And that will kind of determine then what kind of training will work for you, or what kind of training you would like to be doing to help you progress and move forward. And as well, on top of it, I suppose, kind of setting targets and tracking whatever style of training you are doing, because then you can look back on it week on week and make sure that you are making progress with it. So I suppose to give you an example training day, and this could be for someone that wants to get fitter, get stronger, and build a little bit of muscle. So for example, here, this is just kind of an example of style of training that I would do with people. And I generally do like supersets with people. That's where you pick one exercise and then you add another exercise with it, and you do them back to back with little to no rest. And what it does is just keeps up the intensity, keeps up the heart rate. So you're kind of building on your fitness levels a bit more. And as you're keeping the intensity up, it helps you burn off even more calories again. For example, there I've got bench press and a dumbbell row. So it's an exercise using your chest and an exercise using your back. So by doing that, you're building a bit of strength and muscle in your chest and in your back. Second exercise, the same as well. It's a different exercise for your chest, a different exercise for your back. Again, you'd superset that. And depending on if you wanted to say, if your primarily goal was to lose weight and drop body fat, then we'd say, right, let's up the reps a bit. We might even put it up to say 12 to 15 reps, because that way it's going to get your heart rate up a lot more. It's going to keep the intensity up a lot more and you'll be burning off more calories. Or if someone wanted to kind of build muscle, we kind of have the rep range around 8 to 12. Or if someone just wanted to just get stronger, we might say, right, let's work in a rep range between say 1 and 6. And that's the same for all the kind of exercise there. And then I'd finish off, and just as an example, 500-meter sprint 5 times with say 60 seconds rest in between. So that would be a way of adding in a bit of cardio at the end. And adding in a bit of cardio at the end, there's mountains of different ways to do it. You could do it as a circuit where you pick 2 to 3 exercises and you just move from one to the next to the next. And you could have some kettlebell swings or sled push or box jumps or slam balls or burpees or whatever it is. The key really with building up your conditioning is getting you moving, stressing the body in different ways, and I suppose getting you feeling like you are working. And I find that when you kind of add in a nice conditioning session at the end, you'll always feel like when you do leave the gym afterwards that you feel like you've done a good workout and you got a good sweat on. So hopefully that kind of made sense and kind of give you a bit of insight into training and stuff like that, and kind of give you some ideas about what kind of things you could be doing. And of course, with these exercises, well, this is just an example of doing some chest and back exercise together. Obviously, there's exercise for your legs, your shoulders, your core, your arms. So there's mountains of stuff there. So it's just about putting stuff together in a specific way that would suit you and help you progress and move forward. So that's kind of it for everything on training. And again, I've got an accountability task for anybody that is watching this, I suppose, even on the replay as well, that post underneath the group, post underneath this post I'm going to put up in the group, sharing what your specific training goals are. Is it to lose weight? Is it to get fitter? Is it to get stronger? Or is it kind of a mixture of each? So thank you for jumping on and checking out our training.